Yazi, you know what mistake I don't know if it's a mistake, but every time when they're done talking, I do this. And then we just caught up in this thing, and then somehow, I think we might forget. So should I let them stay? Because ukhumbule ukuthi when you do try, yes, so I should. So it's something that we should always remember.
How old is your son?
My son's ex-girlfriend, not my son. My ex-girlfriend's son.
Wow.
My son's ex-girlfriend. My son's ex-girlfriend who? Musi, yeah, my ex-girlfriend's son. Hish.
Bruh, like. So we audible. Hello?
Yes, you are.
Okay, no problem. Let's go again while we still have the momentum.
My ex-girlfriend's son.
Kate was ngapha wena usuka sofe.
Guys, we know you're alive, man. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and let's go. We're live.
Good morning, Dumela, Sawubona, Goeiemôre, Molo. How are you doing, ngwana ko gae? Ke bua le wena yo reditseng le yo shebeletseng from wherever you are tuned in from. Welcome. Ke go dumedisa ebile ke go amogela to what promises to be your favorite rendezvous every morning between Monday and Friday. We're going to be taking care of you right here on Vooka Breakfast Show with myself, the one and only MOOCEE Mist. My name is Musi Mist, and I couldn't be happier to be here with you right now. And you know what it is, man. I am not alone. I'm never going to be alone. I'm with this lovely lady standing right next to me. How are you doing, Mama?
I'm okay, and you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So great to see you.
Oh, it's also wonderful
Yeah,
to see.
yeah.
Good morning, South Africa. Welcome to the Vooka Breakfast Show with your girl, Berry, also known as Miss Berry Plays. But the darker the berry, the sweeter than Don.
Yeah.
I hope you're having a wonderful morning with this very cloudy yet rainy day. Now we're going to have a very jam-packed show for you. Be sure not to go anywhere. Don't tatazel. Stay here with us.
So we have a jam-packed show like everybody just mentioned, and we can't wait for you to get into the conversation with us when we get into our different and various segments throughout the entirety of the show. But with that being said, stay tuned and also do follow us across all our social media platforms. We go by Vooka Breakfast Show. So that's Vooka Breakfast Show on Facebook and all other social media platforms. But for now, let's head over to our topical desk with the one and only maximum temperature, Mweketsi, my money, and I'll see you later. Cool stuff.
Thank you so much, guys, for bringing it over here. And by the way, you guys look very good today. And I hope everyone at home, they're looking good, because this is the start of your energetic day right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, located right in the heart of Soweto, which is Dobsonville. My name is Muketi, my man, aka Max for maximum temperature. But we are going to have a jam-packed show, so please do make sure that you stay tuned with us as I'm going to cue you in on what we are going to have today. Obviously, what's coming up next is your news headlines with Kate Wagamguni, and then on sports headlines, I will be coming in and bringing you, all what is happening on the latest sports news. And after, we're going to have TC Wagwa Mazibugo with your traffic update on the street. So please do make sure that you stay with us on the Vooka Breakfast Show, and comment down below on our YouTube channel as we are live. So right now, without wasting any time, let me go and head it over to Kate Wagamguni to give you your news headlines.
146 others were rescued after a prolonged rescue effort at the closed Bafelfontein mine in the Northwest Province. Treason accusation. The party of South Africa's ex-president Jacob Zuma has filed a treason complaint against AfriForum, a group championing the white Afrikaner minority, after Donald Trump attacked the country's new land law. US President Donald Trump has ordered a halt in US aid to South Africa, citing the country's Land Expropriation Act and its genocide case against Israel. The proposed Africa Energy Bank, which aims to fund oil and gas projects across the continent, is to start operation by media, with South Africa indicating interest in joining. Ms. Concerns, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa has spoken to Elon Musk about misinformation regarding South Africa following Trump's accusation. It's your girl Kitso Mguni on the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Good morning and welcome to the Vooka Breakfast Show. I'm Moketi Maimane and this is your sports update. On Friday, Kaizer Chiefs secured a hard-fought 1-0 win over Stellenbosch thanks to Lilepo's 4th-minute goal. This sees Amakosi climbing up in the ranks. On Saturday, Mamelodi Sundowns dominated Orlando Pirates, thrashing them 4-1. Grant Kekana opened the scoring, followed by Lucas Ribeiro's brace. Teboho Mokoena sealed the win with a 78th minute goal. In other news, Royal AM owner Sean Mkhize has reportedly lost her battle with SARS over the team's tax-related issues. The ruling gives SARS control over the team following Mkhize's failure to submit required documents. Heading on to England FA Cup. Leyton Orient's FA Cup dream was crushed by Manchester City, who won 2-1. An on goal put City behind before Kusanov equalised. De Bruyne sealed the win with a 79th minute goal from the bench. Brighton caused an upset, beating Chelsea 2-1. An on goal by Verbruggen in the 5th minute put Brighton ahead, followed by a goal from Ruta. Mitoma sealed the win with a 57th minute goal. In a major shock, Plymouth knocked out Liverpool with a 1-0 win. Hardy scored the decisive penalty in the 53rd minute. We'll keep a close eye on these developing stories and bring you updates as more information becomes available. That's all for now. Share your thoughts on these matches and the Royal AM saga with us on social media using the hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. My name is Moketi Maimane. This was Vooka Sports News. Right now we're going to head over to TC Wagwamazibugo to give you your traffic update.
Wait.
Vooka Mzansi, it's been a busy and wet morning in Johannesburg, and here's your traffic update for today. It's the usual morning peak hours traffic from 6 until 8, with heavy traffic on the M1 and N1 highways. Expect delays due to increased volumes. The roadworks on the N3 near the Johannesburg CBD are causing further congestion, so please be cautious. Minor accidents have been reported on the R21, leading to further delays. Drive safely and cautiously on the roads due to the wet weather conditions. With that being said, let's head on over to your weather update for today.
And that's how we come back from those headlines that you had. I hope you guys, got a hold of whatever update that was given there. From the news headlines from Ketiwe Wagamguni, and obviously your sports headlines, and the traffic update from TC Wagamazibugo, and also the weather update. So please do make sure that you keep updated with each and every update we're going to give you on the top of the hour right here on the Vooka Breakfast show. So guys, without wasting any time, we have introduced ourselves. So I just want us to jump straight in, because I think what is happening right now in the political space, it requires people to understand, and we need to give our own opinions on what we think. But now, on the news, President Cyril Ramaphosa responded, to Elon Musk, about the misconception and the misinformation about the land expropriation bill, which was signed by the president.
Yes,
So
sir.
what I want to ask you guys is, how dangerous is misinformation? Obviously, when it is given to people with high influence. I just want to know from you, because I think as South Africans, we deserve to, give our own opinions on what we think about misinformation given to people with high influence.
Misinformation is dangerous, because as now I see, a lot of people on social media are calling for there to be a treason charge filed against AfriForum for this misinformation that has been spread. So I think it's valid when you say treason, because now it's affecting a lot of things. Now we, funding has been retracted. A lot of changes are happening due to a group of people spreading false information about a situation. And then it makes you wonder, is there one truth to things in life, or are there different truths? Because perspective is something that we all have, and we all have a way of viewing things not in the same way. And obviously to AfriForum, the bill that has been signed by Cyril feels like an attack, but it's not. I don't think it is. It just is a call for justice. It's a call for reparations. And I mean, if you say that, the Mandela generation, as we are, where he did, the reconciliation with everyone.
The TRC.
The TRC. Then, I mean, this is just actioning that. It's a continuation on that, and I don't think that's wrong. But I mean, that's up to everybody in the audience to engage us on your thoughts as well. So don't forget, it's the Vooka Breakfast Show on all the social media platforms. So let us know what your thoughts on this situation is. But yeah, misinformation is a very, very dangerous thing.
Look, man, I don't know where I'm at with that one. But I was reading up, and I was watching the news right early this morning in the early hours, and what I found out is that, so with regards with what you just said, right, TC, is that with misinformation, there comes to play a sense of a broken telephone type of thing that happens, right? And what that in turn creates is it forms and shapes a certain narrative around a very sensitive issue, right? And so this information that's being shared, that's falsified, of course, gets to these people that you mentioned, these people who are in high positions and have so much influence as to how the world moves and its issues and policies and all of those things. But now you are taking decisions with regards to with regards to policies and things that have nothing to do with you. You don't live in that space. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And so you have noise coming into your ears.
True.
That's not relevant.
Yeah.
And now you're taking decisions and making decisions based on information that's not true, and it's unfortunate now because it affects so many people. Thabo Mbeki also comes into play, and he says, I stand with the government of South Africa with what it's done. And he claps back at Elon Musk. how do you do that? And with all of this thing, what's coming to my mind is that it gives off a sense of white nationalism.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Do
actually
you get what I'm trying to
does.
say? It gives off a sense of white nationalism because Elon Musk and all of these guys, they are going around on Twitter, and Twitter is Elon Musk's.
I mean, at the end
Do you
of
get
the
what I'm trying to
day,
say?
yeah,
And
he
so-
controls that.
And so Tabambeki says, this surprises me as the former president of South Africa. Jorge, how is a Republican president doing this? And in his second term, because when Trump came into his first term, the first time around into presidency, he sat down. He sat down Thabo Mbeki and sent out a what do they call them? An ambassador, a USA ambassador to come and have discussions with the government of South Africa as to what are the issues surrounding all of these things. How do we solve them? And even in our differences, there were differences, very major differences regarding the situation. It is serious. They didn't see eye to eye, but it opened the platform. How do we come to the same table and try to find common ground?
Definitely.
This is why free thinking is important. I always promote free thinking.
Yeah.
I promote people to do their research.
Yeah.
I always promote for people to have their own and host and you know, foster their own independent thinking, because the entire institutionalized education system is problematic. It is staged in a manner that promotes the mind to be forever servile in fulfilling someone else's dream. It was designed to be opposing to which true success really is, breeding all sorts of obsequious brains to rampant consumerism. A mental project to challenge the memory of a candidate and never the intelligence and innovation. What do we call a country that is tremendously dependent on extra budgetary agencies? We call it what? A welfare state. And that is exactly what is failed in what is called a sunset clause colonial spin-off country. So honestly, we really need to, in this age and time, think for ourselves, be free thinking and well-informed individuals. Because information is readily available, but not all information is correct and true.
Yeah, I do get you, because I think the most problem here is how the information is translated to people.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
what I'm actually getting here is that, yes, the president can come, you know, we all hear of these big terms, you know, on social media. And then the president came and said, you know what, as a country, we are not going to be bullied by the US, you know, after Trump made those statements. You know, so I just want to hear from you right there at home, you know, what do you think about the situation that is happening, you know, regarding the US and South Africa right now? You know, big influencers like Elon Musk are now coming into the picture. You know, they are speaking about, you know, how our president has opened, you know, the laws of racism. You know, so we just want to know from you down there, and comment down below. We are Vooka Breakfast Show on YouTube. Do make sure that you like, you comment down below. But before we move on, I see we have comments right there from Adam Patlele. Are sivugile.
Yes.
Indeed. And then we have Refilo Rasekhanzo. Are Vooka Breakfast Show.
I see you. Shout out.
Okay, that's one of your own.
You know, at another platform where we used to do like something a bit similar.
Yes.
So I know Refilo from.
Yeah,
Nice.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we conclude, Afriberry, can you please, you know, tell us your 2 cents, man, about
Yes,
this whole
Afri,
situation?
weigh in a little bit. I mean, you've been very quiet there in the corner.
Okay,
She's
but
traumatized.
in a way, let's just be frank, right? This whole thing about racial encounters is something that actually has been brewing for like a very long time, right? Because I am my way.
Yes.
I think that AfriForum has been waiting for such an
opportunity,
opportunity,
yeah.
to actually say, yeah, they're putting us down. Yet we have so many racial incidents that are happening to young black South Africans. We had
Still,
an incident where a
in
young black
2025.
child was being abused at a swimming pool because white people felt like we own this pool. We had a racial incident where a black child went to school fully embracing their natural hair, and they were called the K word for using their natural hair and embracing their Africanity. Which is, Elon Musk cannot actually say that our president is openly using laws that are racist towards the fellow people. Yet throughout the years, let's count from 2020. Yet from 2020 until today, 2025, we've had so many racial incidents that happen against black people. Why was he not voicing his voice out then?
And I mean, X is a very vocal
Yeah,
platform. Yeah, a lot of things happen there, and I mean, I don't know.
I mean, even right now, he's still not saying anything that is happening against the black oppressed community.
Yeah.
We have so many
Congo
farm
situation,
incidents
Congo things
that
are
are
happening in
happening. There's
Congo.
things in the Congo that are happening.
so
So
many
it shows
things.
that sometimes you gotta support your
No,
house.
but here's the thing. Like I mentioned earlier, I get it. Jorge, he can't openly speak like he's speaking on this issue specifically, because, like I said, it gives off a sense of white nationalism.
White supremacy,
yes,
actually.
and even with the noise that is in his ears right now, you understand that?
Yeah.
Because I mean, when he first came into presidency for his first term, he was able to sit down with the government of South Africa, sends out an ambassador to come and sit down with the president and former presidents, the likes of Thabo Mbeki. Guys, what are the issues? And he knows the history regarding South Africa, with
as
the
a
racial
whole.
issues that
Yeah.
we
I mean,
we've
we've
experienced.
been
You
at
understand?
this.
So now he's taking an entire 180. An entire 180 with misinformation and little information with that. The black South Africans are appropriating the land
from
and
whites.
They are what.
And then, which land are we actually appropriating when the land originally belonged to us? I mean, there's also an American movie, I don't know the title about it, but there's a movie where it shows like a former president going to sit down, sending his senator to go sit down with the Native Americans that, you know what, we want to just buy your land and we'll give you everything you need. And then that person asked him, what on earth do you want to give us that we don't already have? We're gonna give you
Africa
land.
is
We
such a
already
rich
have the
continent,
land. So
guys.
which land are you giving me? Because I already have land. So when you
Can't
say,
give me
is
something
it
that's
so
already
wrong
mine?
to also get something that is actually from us? And if you look at Donald Trump, like from his statements way before he even became president, in his video clips dating back to 1970s, 1980s, he even raised the comment that he is not a fan of black people. So I'm not actually, you can look at his past interviews. So I'm not actually even shocked about the thing that's happening with him right now
Okay,
and
Avery.
trying to rule over his white supremacy. His first run as a president, he built a wall dividing Mexico and the US.
Well, he advocated for that.
for the war. Yeah,
But the wall was already there. By the time Biden went into presidency, the wall was already there.
Hey,
a
alright.
physical wall or
A
like
physical wall, bruh. Like you can
a
see.
metaphorical wall.
No, the wall was already there. And
Okay.
right now,
Okay.
now, I bet him getting another chance at the presidency is also giving him a chance to continue what he actually wanted to continue. White supremacy. We rule.
Hey,
Okay.
definitely.
Good man.
Before we get hold of ourselves and go to the Great Wall of China and talk about walls, because what I need is a
Talking
wall
about
that
walls.
divides Dobsonville Snake Park. That's all I need. So please, it's a 24 minutes past 9 right into the Vooka Breakfast show.
Yes,
Still
sir.
in with
Yes,
a
sir.
jam-packed show, as we promised that we are going to have some very interesting topics that we would like you to discuss
weigh
with
in.
us right here. So please do not forget those hashtags on our YouTube channel. Hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show is the hashtag to use in every social media platform. So right now we are going to get into personal finance. After we are going to look at what is today, in history, what happened, in this day on the 11th of February, what happened. And then obviously we are going to have our word of the day. I hope you guys are ready for this because man.
Yeah, we are putting you on,
Indeed.
expanding your vocabulary.
I forgot my dictionary.
Because like Musi said, like Musi and Mo said, we need to use our words intentionally.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And we need
Absolutely.
to expand our vocab because
Absolutely.
all these words are being thrown at us so that when misinformation
Yes.
comes across our faces
Yes.
and comes across
Yes.
our eyes, we are aware and we're able to identify and
Yeah.
we understand what things mean. It's very important, Mzansi, to always stay informed.
Yeah.
Stay relevantly informed with what's happening in the world and in the news.
Definitely. Do not be misinformed. And then we're going to come back again and give you the traffic update and what is happening on the weather, because it's a little bit changing. I think I'm starting to see some sunshine there outside, and we're going to be looking at your social trends. What is it that is trending on the social media? Because this table is a hot table.
Hot
the
topics.
topical, topical discussions only. So please do stay with us, and we're going to be getting into your love block. You know that we have lovers out there. We'll be sharing some confessions from people, and if you do have some confessions, from your partner or about your partner, we are your people right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. So without wasting any time, guys, I want us to move into personal finances. I know this is a very, very, very
touchy
sensitive
issue.
topic.
People don't like to talk about their pockets,
especially especially with our families, man, in the township.
Sensitive.
Yeah.
It's sensitive. Payslip, yeah. What are you doing with my
Yes.
payslip?
Yeah,
What
it's
do you
true.
want with my payslip?
It's ours.
And we should also touch base on men's salaries that go straight directly to women. Stop.
Tšhelete ya
Stop.
mavuso.
Alright.
So that also, no man, it's a joke.
Alright.
Yes, we're laughing about it, but it's a sensitive issue, like we just
Yes.
mentioned, and
Yeah.
it also plays plays a role, and
Yeah.
it's a factor. How is it that the money that I work for as a guy,
Yeah.
day to day, utlwa ka sekore tsogile go bata pula ena go le yang and then tšhelete ka beke nako wena. Like
But it's a choice.
But
It's a
Musi,
choice.
Look, it is. Each to their own.
It's a
Yeah,
choice.
You know how I am, right?
It's a
Very,
But
choice.
very-
Musi, that's something
Yes.
you should ask your ancestors, because it started a very long time.
No.
Buza kwabadlulileyo.
But look, man, yes, but it's things like that. How do you handle your personal finances?
Finances. That's
Yeah.
very
Right.
important.
Yeah.
Like what pushed you to
Yeah.
get to a point where you consciously decided, TC and will
Yeah.
go directly into her account and she's responsible. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I can't wait to get into
Well,
that
maybe
one, man.
accountability partners. I mean,
Yes,
there's that. Some people, I mean, when you know sometimes that Mina, my weakness is this, sometimes acceptance is the biggest thing you can give yourself. When you accept that, no, but Mina, I'm a shopaholic.
Yeah.
Whenever something small comes into my account, now enjoyment. So, but now you need to plan and budget your money carefully, especially in these economic times that we're living
Tough
in.
times,
We
yeah, man.
know very well, even now as we speak, that one salary is not enough.
Yeah.
It's hardly enough. I mean, so many people are living below the breadline. So many households are without, the basic necessity food items in the townships. We know very well the situation with unemployment and just the state of society, socio-economic affairs in South Africa is. So let us know how you spend your money, so we can also maybe get some tips from you.
Yeah, you see?
Young people, you guys, hey, because you are the future of South Africa,
You see?
and we want you to know and plan your money better. Because I mean, if you don't start now, when will you?
Exactly. That's the sensitive I was speaking about. Like nasali momo ying. We know some of you markulo yang mali sen vuyela madlu.
Yes, Mo. Yeah.
But yeah, it's something that we're going to get to. Before, I have some few comments on my YouTube right now from Atham Patlele Are. The fight between Cupcake and Trump shows us as South Africa, we are not in control.
You see, a welfare state.
Question
that's what's
is,
the problem.
do you all think as Africans we can run things without their influence? Very good question.
Very,
Maybe
very
it's one
good
we
question.
should
Very
also
good
try
question.
and unpack
Yeah.
and try and verse ourselves
well
and
Yeah.
familiarize ourselves, because it's a broad question. Everybody mentioned something, right? The Afri Forum seems like was waiting for an opportunity, right?
Just to
Ukila bona awe metse ngwana, a emetse golla.
Yeah,
Ukila bona
like
teo.
something happened
It's
during
been
the
boiling,
day and
it's been
waiting
boiling.
for the
Mama
parents to
atswa ko
come back.
mmereko,
Yeah,
yes.
to cry.
Yeah, umusu mshayile mama vele. Mara, this has been boiling and boiling
Yeah,
and boiling.
yeah.
So what also this gives a sense of is that this issue has underlying issues underneath it. Because
There's
what
a lot.
you can remember is, if you can remember, there was South Africa and US had disagreements about the, I think Iraq,
Was it Russia?
China.
Yeah.
There was Russia, China. There was another one. I think there's a couple of ones that we disagreed on as nations, as different nations, right? As a Western nation and as an African nation. So these are things that have been boiling and boiling and boiling and boiling. Like,
Yeah.
what do you have
Especially when you look at the whole Russia point, because they were like trying to push us over to the corner. And when you look at everything, South Africa and Russia are also part of BRICS, right? But that's something we'll definitely come back to.
Yeah.
After we're coming back to your answer, my
Yes,
brother.
yes.
Let's just
Answer him.
No.
No,
He's
actually, we want
waiting.
everybody else to actually
He's
comment.
waiting, guys, because obviously you need to answer him because
Well,
it's an answer that
okay,
you want.
It's an
Ata.
open-ended
Vooka,
question.
Africa.
Let's say this,
It's
yeah.
subjective.
In a way, Africa, let's be honest, ne? I think sometimes the way the AU was created was very irrational. Because in
EU?
no, African Union,
Okay.
AU.
Okay.
We have a union that is supposed to unify Africa, but yet is failing. So in a way, it also comes back to what Arthur said. Sometimes to even solve the smallest wars that we can solve in-house, we always need to go and call somebody else. What is it so wrong about us dealing with our own matters that we fail to do?
Yeah.
We as Africa should have united a very long time ago.
Yeah.
We have so many natural resources, so many natural minerals that are providing outside to the world, but we are not even gaining.
Yeah.
In Congo right now, there's a huge war. And we know that some of the best diamonds come from Congo besides South Africa. Hence, they're also called black diamonds because a lot of people go through gravel, sweat, and pain just to mine for a diamond that's literally not even going to work for them or give them a sustainable future. Africa, why are you not uniting? AU, what's the point of having you if you're not uniting all of us?
Every
Yeah,
you see, so that's why I say the question is for everyone. Guys, don't forget to engage us on all our socials. It's hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. So Mo, tell us, personal finance, what's up?
Wait, before we move to personal finance, Itumeleng Diale responded to Arthur.
Okay.
Responding to you, Arthur, I think we can, but it's a matter of giving it a try and set our things straight.
Well, okay.
I think as Africans, tutor too much. Now, one thing I can tell you responding to Arthur is that Zamazamas, like they have taught me something that we study too much.
How?
Those guys akatswa ko Lesotho a re monna gauta e tlo mphidisa.
Yeah.
O kena ka tlasa mokoti. A ntshe gauta eo and get over millions of monies. Understand? So we have the minerals. Let's take the minerals. We know we have the refineries, we don't have the raw things. Let's keep them and see if the West, it is going to have power. Cut off the airlines, communications, cut off everything. Let's border ourselves.
Revolutionary
and see,
you are.
and
Revolutionary you are.
True, man. True.
Radical change.
Yes,
Radical change.
yes.
So look, man, it's subject for me, Arthur. I hear what everyone else is saying, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's a subjective matter.
Yeah.
And there's no concrete objective answer to it. Can Africa sustain itself individually or can't it? Because there's a lot of factors and contributing variables that come into play. So, and there's a lot of underlying issues and things of history and the future and things that are happening, So for me personally,
It'll
I feel
take
like
time.
it's going to take time.
A
man.
long time.
For one that I can think of at the top of my head is that South Africa is a very young democracy. Very young democracy. We're only 30 years into our democracy, and if we were to cut off the West, and I don't know, it could just,
Okay.
that's just me. So
What
anyway,
you fear another Zimbabwe situation?
possibly
Not really, because out of all
Possibly,
African
man.
countries, we may be the youngest, but we're the most striving. So that's something we
And
need
that's
to
also
use to our
subjective, but,
advantage.
Yeah.
Anyway, Wanakokhai, do
Yeah.
catch us up
Yeah.
on your thoughts and your opinions and
Engage
everything
us, man.
else.
Indeed.
Between.
Engage.
We'd
So
love to hear from
we are
you,
now
yeah.
into personal finance,
Yes.
and I love the engagement right there on the chat
Yeah.
from Arthur in Itumeleng. Arthur, I'm going to come back to your comment. Please keep those comments coming.
Yes.
Vukani
Yes.
ma Africa.
Can you
Vukani.
comment? Please comment.
Vukani. So right now we are getting into personal finance. So but personal finance include various aspects such as budgeting, saving, investing, debt management, retirement planning, insurance, tax planning, and estate planning. Do you think most of the people do have that education to go through that personal finance concept? That's my answer. We don't.
When it comes to
Sayabhukuda,
budgeting, everybody knows what budgeting and saving is. The only problem is that we just don't have the perseverance or the patience to actually do so. And then one thing that I feel that could actually grow even our own South African economy, besides growing a person's pockets individually, is when it comes to estate management, right? Let's be honest, real estate is one of the safest route that a person could ever take. But people do not consider it.
I mean,
A person would rather buy a car than buy a house and turn that house into their own investment.
is it
You
the
cannot
safest?
live in-
I don't know.
For me, it actually is, because remember that you can still work your 9 to 5 and have something called residual income.
Okay.
That's when you have income or different income streams coming from somewhere that is actually not your main income.
Yes.
And that's where you go back into personal management or personal finances. Because when you have different residual incomes or different money streams, that's when you're forced to okay, I can't literally actually just spend all of this money. That means that if I have money from my side hustle, I can save that. If I have 2 side hustles, I can literally just always dip my hand in that one cookie jar and save from the other 2 cookie jars that I have. But then as South Africans, sometimes reading too much, like Mo just said, is literally not going to work for us, especially if you're reading irrelevant things.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
stay away from credit also.
I
Credit
have-
is a trap
It's
at
a
times. Unless you know how to use credit properly in order to empower your finances,
Yeah.
I always advise people stay away from credit, especially things like clothing, guys. Ekasi, please.
But
In the
they're going through all these
Yeah.
clothing
I have-
accounts.
Drip, drip, sippy,
Why?
score,
I have
Rage.
something here.
It's culture.
Yes.
So I have something here that says personal finance is a term that covers managing your money as well as saving and investing. It encompasses budgeting, banking, insurance, mortgages, investments, retirement, tax, and estate planning. The term often refers to the entire industry that provides financial services to individuals and households and advises them about financial and investment opportunities.
Yeah.
Personal finance is about meeting your personal financial goals. These goals could be anything having enough, could have anything having enough for short-term financial needs, planning for retirement, or saving for your child's college education. It depends on your income, spending, saving, investing, and personal protection, which is insurance and estate planning. So there's a lot, man. There's a lot. What I don't know. My take from this is that a whole lot of us in society, in general, as individuals, are not as knowledgeable and informed when it comes to managing our personal finances. That also speaks to how we are educated from a schooling
School level.
level.
Yeah.
One understand?
Yes.
As to how you need to manage and be responsible for your own personal finances when you eventually are an adult in the society working and are in the job market. But what also comes to play for me is that a whole lot of, like you mentioned, a whole lot of people who are in the job market were working jobs that are not necessarily remunerating us the tšhelete tse leng gore re kgona go nna le knowledge eo and re handle di finances tsa rona gantle.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
What also comes to mind now is a thing called black tax.
Black tax.
You
Yeah,
understand
black
that?
taxes.
We can take it for granted, but it's something that actually comes to play.
But I mean, it's because of the socio-economic issues in our society. I mean, you can find that in a household, like in the township or in
Mostly the black
low
society.
income,
Yeah.
income households.
Yeah.
There's maybe one person who's a breadwinner,
Yeah.
and their salary is low. It's not even
Yes.
enough to
Yes.
to cover everything that they
Yes.
need. It's not enough to cover all the expenses. So how do you then save from what you don't have? How do you then become responsible from what you don't have? I mean, and where you can barely afford to eat, now you have to because I mean, we are living in the fourth industrial revolution
yeah.
where now data has become as important as a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Wi-Fi.
Definitely,
Paying for
guys.
Wi-Fi, yeah.
Obviously, you know that this topic is, as we spoke, is sensitive. You know,
Yeah.
so I do not want to get sensitive for my people right there at home. Ke batla ho ba thusa, because I can see there's a chat right there. So I want to read that comment. You know, Itumeleng Diale against Athampahlele Vugani ma Africa.
Yo,
as I
brothers,
to
you are
guys.
on this
Yeah.
Right?
morning.
So Arthur responded to Tumi, and then Are, Tumi, imagine we try, then we fail. ANC was given 30 years to make our lives better as black
Yes,
people,
as a
but we are
society.
still
Amen.
struggling.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then, yeah, that's how he wrapped up that discussion we're having. And then he comes back to this one, personal finance. When it comes to budgeting, how can you budget with 4,000 in a household of 7 members?
We
Like we
mentioned.
just mentioned.
Like we just
Kamo,
mentioned.
I need transport and lunch.
Yes.
Ntjwetse nke budget e jwang?
Ni six pack phela ke fokotsa stress. Hayi bo.
On top of that, you must save on that money.
Yes.
I believe we were educated on finances from grade 8 till matric. Even banks are educating us through ads. So what's the
And
problem?
apps, and they have comedy
Bantu
shows.
barona.
There's actually no
Surrounding
problem, right?
financial
There's
matters.
actually no problem. Let's also be honest about our black Africans right there. We have a tendency of
Yo.
being ignorant. That's something that we as a black and African society need to handle and deal with. Because you'll find people doing a promotion and trying to teach you about different ways of saving. And like right. Ke sharp among us save. Can we also try to change that? Because let's be honest. In all honesty, our economy is dying by the second, not
Yeah.
even every
So-
day.
Yeah.
So on
It keeps
that
on
ne-
going down. But anyway, one day,
On
one
that,
day.
when we concluded, because Arthur asked the question, "Hore ke budget a jwang?" Don't worry, you have me. You know,
Ow,
budget.
Mo, the financial expert.
Yeah, you know, Mfethu, I still have a 1 rand I saved in 2018. I'm very good on budgeting.
I used
But
to be good
these
in high
are the
school.
4, solutions that you can have. So I want to take you through some, few definitions. It's 2 definitions and 2 solutions. So
Okay.
budgeting is creating a plan for managing income expenses. So you must have a budgeting plan. Saving is setting aside money for short-term and long-term goals. So do make sure that you save that money. And then we have effective personal finance management. It requires 2 things. You need to have financial literacy and discipline. Financial literacy is understanding financial concepts and products. And your discipline is sticking to your budget and avoiding impulsive purchases. Puma ya 2000 for what
Aye,
is na
man.
shabo. You understand? Yeah. But let us move on. Thank you so much, guys, for engaging
Engaging.
with
Yes,
us. We are
definitely.
Vooka Breakfast Show. So right now, we are going to, head over to our next segment, which
Today
is,
Today in history.
You know, what have you learned? If you have something that happened today and you would like to share it with us, do comment
Yes.
down below.
Yes.
Right?
What's
So,
the hashtag
because it's the month of
for
love, maybe you have, man, love, man. Something happened, something happened.
Yes.
Yeah, but without wasting any time, let me head over to you, Musi. Like, what is it that you have found interesting today in history?
I'll tell you, man, from back when I was still in high school. So I think for the first year when I was in high school, grade 8, I used transport. And why is it transport? It's either we're listening to music or we're listening to radio, to FM, right? And so from back in high school, I can remember so clearly. And then from the 9th grade all the way to matric, it's a taxi, right? And good taxi, it's more or less the same thing.
Yeah.
It's either get radio or get music. So even when we would be listening to the radio, go transporting or taxing, every time this topic would come up, I'd get so excited because you learn so much when it comes to today in history. And I was a history learner myself, go high school. So I love history. So the one that I have here says, in 1990, on the 11th of February, South African anti-apartheid activist Nelson Mandela was freed after 27 years of being
Today.
imprisoned. This is today on the 11th of
Nice.
February. Right, back in 1990 he was released officially. So that's for me. That touches home for me because I'm a history lover and I'm a history appreciator. The other, yes, I am completely. The other one I have here says, rhythm and blues singer, an R&B singer, famous female vocalist, amazing vocalist, Whitney Houston, passed on the 11th of February.
Oh no.
At the age of 48. I'm not sure about the year, so do engage with us about that.
Yeah.
But Whitney Houston died on the 11th of February at the age of 48. I think, if memory serves well, this was back in 2009, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
You know, so I will look into that. But yeah, those are some of the ones
Definitely.
that I have when it comes to today in history on the 11th of February.
Interesting, man.
Yes, sir.
Interesting, man. And on my side, I'm gonna head off a little bit, and explore what happened around the world,
Yes, sir.
especially in those times, man. On the 1818s. So today, on the 11th of February, 1867,
Yes,
the
sir.
first telegram was sent.
Oh,
Samuel Morse sent the first telegram from Boston to New York, revolutionizing long-distance communications.
wow.
And
All
now
thanks
look
to
at
this
us.
man.
I just wonder what the telegram said. Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hey,
That would be
yo.
cool to find out, actually.
Would
Yeah.
be very
Right,
cool
you're right,
because
everybody,
I
yeah.
think since this was actually like put out there into the universe, it was never stated
Yeah.
what the telegram actually
Yes.
said.
Yes.
Yeah, so
yes.
these events showcase significant milestones in science,
Yes.
technology, and social justice. So those were the interesting facts about today in history. We are going to be
history.
sharing more with you, every weekdays, 7 a.m. up until 10 a.m. right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. We are Vooka on YouTube. Do make sure that you press the subscription button, notification button, so that whenever we go live, you are going to be notified. My name is Moketi Maimane, aka Max for maximum temperature. I'm
Yes.
joined by Afri Berry right here. The Takade Berry, the
The
sweeter
sweeter
than
than
Tonto.
I have the only one right here, also Musi Mist.
Of course. When I go start, when I go top
Yay.
Force of habit. I'm
Yo,
sorry.
thank you.
Force of habit. I can't help it. But you know what it is, when I go high, hanging out with us right here on Vooka Breakfast Show, brought to you by the Blinko Network, with myself, the one and only international musician, all
Yes.
the way from Dop Santon, right next to Zondi Hills. This is just before you get to Provincial Kloof. My name is MOOCEE, Musi Mist, the one and only. Of course, we have the lovely
Chakrahan.
I am not a chakra.
Are you not a chakra?
I am a prime cut creative. I'm
Okay.
a positivity. I'm positivity. You understand?
I see.
TC, positivity.
Okay. Okay, I see a play on words there.
There you go.
I
Yes,
see.
I love all things positive. So yes, today we are going to keep you tuned into the latest and greatest topics, and don't forget to subscribe, like we have been saying. Word of the day next, coming up with
Indeed.
us.
And also not forgetting that we have, our news anchor, Mrs. Ketiwe
Wagamkuni.
Ketwa. She's going to be coming up later today and give you a recap of the news headlines. So today, obviously getting so much into interesting history facts and word of the day. So today, guys, I have a very, very beautiful surprise for my team right here on the table with the word of the day. Word of the day is perspicacious.
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 So the definition of perspicacious is having a keen understanding and insight, able to notice and understand things that are not immediately apparent.
Hey, winner. Okay.
Anyone here who's perspicacious?
I'm not at the moment. I need to digest this, right? So, like I mentioned when we were in studio yesterday, TC,
Yeah.
I mentioned that I'm an auditory learner.
Nah,
right?
yes.
So when I hear something, I get ingest that,
Yeah.
digest that, and
we
you know,
tlhafune.
ke tlhafune, ke e utlwe gore man pellet ya ka e utlwa yang ka yona. And then when I have a mental vision of it, then it registers in my mind, right?
Yeah.
So what I have here with regards to what you just said, more similar words to perspicacious.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to just say that name.
Yeah, I have here someone who is discerning, who is shrewd, who's perceptive, like you mentioned, who is astute, observant, sharp-witted, sharp-sighted, clear-eyed, far-sighted. There's a lot, man. So
I
Now-
have a sentence. So in
Okay.
order to avoid misinformation. One has to be perspicacious.
Come on.
Indeed, guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Stay perspicacious
Yes.
right there at home on the Vooka Breakfast Show. 10 minutes to 9 right here. So what you're going to do right now is to actually, go and look at the weather update. And then when we come back, TC is going to give you the latest traffic update on what is happening on the road so that you can stay safe together with your families and avoid accidents. And we're going to come back and look at what is trending on our social media, and have a little discussion, about whatever that is trending on the social media. And if you have anything to share with us, we are Vooka on every social media platform. Right now, let us take a short break, and here is your weather update.
Welcome back, everyone. So this morning, your peak morning traffic has eased up. No other major traffic update has been reported, but do keep us updated on our social medias if you have noticed anything on the roads. So going over to Kate with your news headlines.
President speaks out Mbeki questions soured Republican relations with South Africa, stating that Trump took a decision without consulting Pretoria. A tragedy in Eastern Cape. The family of an 18-year-old Aviwe Mavonya seeks justice after her murder. Load reduction efforts. Ramakgopa says the government addressing the load reduction encourages municipality to explore electricity generation. Soldiers' remains return. The remains of soldiers who died in the DRC will be laid to rest in full military honor.
Thank you so much. That was Uketiwe Mguni with TC Wagwamazibugo with your traffic update, and Uketiwe with your news headlines on the top of the hour. So, if you want a recap, you can just quickly, scroll back on your phone and make sure that you get, updated with everything. So, right now we are going to move. Right, we are moving to our social trends. What is happening on social media? You understand? So please do stay with us. We are Vooka Breakfast Show on each and every social media platform. Continue using those hashtags on our YouTube. It's hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. Vugani ma Afrika. Svugile Silana. We are here to bring you and start your day in a very energetic way, right? And broadcasting in the heart of Soweto, which is Dobsonville. Please send a shout out to wherever you are around Soweto, so that
let us know where you at. Let us know where you at.
Indeed, let us know where you at. So moving on right now, we are going to move on our social media trends. And it's still trending right now, ne? So guys, do you know who's Kendrick Lamar?
How?
Yeah.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
My high school teacher called him Glenrick Lamar. I can remember when he came to South Africa.
Yeah.
Half of the kids in my school skipped school the following day. And she was like, because he had a concert at the Coca-Cola Dome.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
Kendrick once came here and essay.
Yes,
And they were like, "Give up, Kendrick Lamar."
I see you. I see you.
Yeah,
I see you.
definitely. Kendrick Lamar is an hip hop artist based in the US. You know, he is making moves in the music charts right now. So, Kendrick Lamar won 5 Grammys.
Yes. And a Pulitzer Prize.
5 Grammys, but there is an interesting thing. He is the first artist to win 5 Grammys with a diss track.
With a diss track. I know, imagine.
Who was it to say?
Drake.
Oh, that feud that was happening.
Bro.
Yes.
Bro, like,
Where,
it's
like, I
hectic.
think did Drake sue or wanted to open sue
Yeah,
the
he
record
went-
label
he wa-
for
yeah.
allowing Kendrick to call him a pedophile.
Exactly. That's the thing.
Wait,
let's be
is
honest.
that founded?
It is. It actually kind of is. When you look at the
A
history,
certified pedophile.
when you look at the history of the girls that Drake has dated, most of the girls that Drake has dated, when he started dating them, they were not even 18 yet. They were not even 18 yet.
You know, I always look, man. I mentioned it. I think on Friday when we heard when we had our rough draft of a stream, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to things like this, I'm always a bit awkward, you know, because I don't necessarily follow as
Yeah.
much people would.
Yeah.
Especially with the Lunyana Tediso, man. Like, I heard about the feud, but I didn't really read much into it, right? So this is a surprise for me to find out. Kendrick said Drake is a pedophile. I didn't know that. You know, and now
certified one.
winning.
You're so concerned in your
winning-
world. You're like,
No, not really like that. But you know, each to their own. And
Yeah.
we like we mentioned on Friday, we all have our different interests.
Yeah,
right?
true.
So to find out, he even won 5 Grammys.
And a
diss track.
Pulitzer Prize. What? Wait. Okay. Let's start on that one.
They not like us.
Kendrick
They
Lamar
not like
is a
us.
Pulitzer Prize winner.
Yeah.
What is
He's a
the-
humanitarian. He's
Is he doing things even outside of like the entertainment space?
well,
to-
I
to
mean, his
constitute
artistry
him?
brings.
You're not answering the question.
He's an American
But that's
rapper.
what I am answering this question
Yeah.
because his artistry brings attention to some key issues. I mean, his songs, his songs, his latest albums. I mean, if not anything, his latest album is it what's it called? What's the latest album? Kendrick?
Yo, you know me, I'm still.
I forgot. Is that the one with
I'm
the
still
thorns?
with Mr. Morale. You know, I'm still on
Yes,
Mr.
that's the
Morale,
one.
and I'm coming with, it, with
the big
other one.
is it, yeah.
Yeah.
So he does a lot of conversation have been going around about issues black people in the States face ever since he's been vocal with his artistry and in his imagery, in the way he portrays, he performs his performances.
Exactly.
So I mean, he has in my opinion.
And anyway, if Drake is not a certified pedophile, why
I
about
know.
her? Why her Terga? Why is it so painful? You know, the truth only hurts when somebody starts poking it at your face.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the history dates back to, you know, your Tupac Shakur because he is the biggest influence in Lamar's life.
yeah.
Understand? So, one thing Drake did is maybe someone comes and, you know, speaks bad about Dobsonville, man, you know, like, I'm not gonna let this
Dobson.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, the first township in Soweto to get electricity. What
That's
are you
what
talking
Breezy
about?
did, man. That's what
Hey.
Breezy did, man. He
I'm
spoke bad about Compton.
And Compton has been like, yeah,
He
it's
spoke bad
got-
about
it's got some
Compton,
legends
and
coming
Oh,
in.
okay, I heard that.
yeah, so I
yeah,
think
yeah.
we know that some of the beefs are not those, you know, beef, just like the beef that we had with the late AKA with the Kespanyo Vest. It was just for media, but this one is serious, man. If you want Grammys with a diss track,
This track, yeah.
Bro,
that's
serious,
5
man.
Grammys, not even one.
That's what surprises me.
5.
That's what
It's
but look,
hectic.
man, shout out to him. Clearly, he's doing something right.
Yeah.
And he's creating a conversation in the space.
Yeah.
So
that's what we want. Conversations
man.
that
Props.
that do something, that make an impact.
Yeah, we need to give props where props is due. So shout out to him. And
It kind of
he's
reminds you of
following
what Cat Williams said before Diddy got smoked.
Yo.
You're going there, Afri. You're going there, like
Because
really?
he started preaching the truth, and everybody's like, no, don't be talking about us or Cat Williams and whatever. Next thing, Diddy.
Yeah, so you know, there's a
Kunengi,
lot,
bro.
man. There's a lot. So
Kunengi,
obviously,
bro.
guys, it's Vooka. They not like us.
Yeah, they know like us.
They not
They know
like
like
us,
us. They know
They
like
not.
us.
Come on, man.
They
Come
not,
on. Come
man.
on. We'll
So-
speak it into existence, man.
What I want to know with all the Kendrick, because I know that there are really big, music fans out there, and a lot of creatives in my spaces I know have had a lot to say on this conversation and the Super Bowl, and all you sports fans out there. Him making being the first doing like the first hip hop solo headliner in the Super Bowl history.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something. You gotta give props to that. But then, the question, Lena, what baffles me is like, did you hear that he's not gonna be taking a paycheck home for this?
What, for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, he's not getting paid for it. Why?
What is he
Is it-
donating
wait,
the
is it-
money
is it-
or
is it-
he's
yes.
not getting
Is
paid
it his
till time?
own choice, or was it the agreement
been
prior to him coming to perform? Gore, you're coming, yes, as a headliner, but you're not going to get remunerated for this.
Hey man, I have
a
not.
question mark.
That's what, yeah. I have. No, that's why I want people to come onto the conversation in our live chat and let us know what their thoughts and their knowledge of as to why Lamar won't be taking home a paycheck to match these great feats at the Super Bowl. So it is hashtag Vooka Breakfast Show. It's Vooka with VOOKA.
Hey, come on, somebody.
Vooka, guys. Why won't Lamar be taking home a big paycheck to,
Because it makes no sense.
What do you mean?
Like why Maguti abafuna ukumnikeza imali, like why?
Did he agree to?
And then what was the whole point of making him a solo hip hop headliner if you're also not going to give what's due to him? I'm like, this nigga's making a whole lot of things up here. He's making a whole lot of people speak out there and just be able to express themselves willingly about the situations that they're currently going through. So if they're not paying him, why are you holding his money?
No, I think it speaks to the question that I just asked.
Oh,
what is? Do
okay.
you have something?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear quickly before I.
So apparently, he's following other major performers in earning less than the cost of a ticket to the game, if anything at all. So Vele, the Super Bowl, this is their modus operandi.
Okay,
Oh
so
yes,
what's-
that's actually
what's-
been trending amongst other artists.
What's the thing?
Their modus operandi, you don't you get paid, you earn less than the cost of a ticket to the game, if anything at all.
So yeah, but what's the reason behind it? Does it have like?
Batung, I don't know.
I get
No,
the main
just
thing
to have
is I get the
context, I
Super
get-
Bowl is like the American sports,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
People come there
It's
to
soccer.
watch it, So these kind of events is to give back to actually the people who play the
so
sports.
it's not necessarily based
Yeah.
on generating like a
So-
huge source of income or anything like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's people, they just take things out of proportion because obviously this Lamar and Drake thing has been going on.
Yes.
Mind you, they didn't pay attention to other performers, so it was always Kendrick. And now there's this thing that when the Super Bowl happens, they kind of want you to, introduce yourself with the music that you do. So Kendrick went there and, he did a diss track and called someone a pedophile in front of 100 million people who were watching. You understand? So
At the stadium and also at home.
at home, you understand? So it's something that people are still asking, like, who? There are people in America who don't know who's Kendrick Lamar. A lot of people, they don't know who is Kendrick Lamar.
Yes,
True.
believe it or not.
True.
Look,
Remember
They
that
don't.
you have people stay in their own
I don't know.
bubbles.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know
Okay.
about not knowing him. Yes, not knowing him like as to what he does perhaps, but at some point you've heard of the name.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, understand.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so
according to published reports, the reason that you don't get paid or they don't collect a paycheck, it's because halftime artists at the Super
Yeah.
Bowl only get paid union scale, a minimum guaranteed in a union contract.
Yeah.
So it's like our stipend. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
but yeah.
Ah, ba kgona
let's-
tjhelete-
let's-
I don't-
ba
I
kgona
don't get
tjhelete
it,
male
but-
bese.
Let's
I
wrap
don't
it up.
get
So
yeah.
he was performing at the Super Bowl, right?
Yes.
You guys are musicians, right?
Yes.
So this guy, ne, it's a field, bruh. Like it's a field, and we know that every time when we see, artists performing on the big stage, you would, they breathe in, they're getting tired.
Okay.
But the guy's breath control is what people were speaking about.
Oh,
Really?
That man was going there. Nah, go Mashaba. Come back and go back to Midlands. But when he sings,
When he
when
he's rapping.
the breath
Yeah.
control. So
Doesn't sing.
is it a thing? Like
No, I
when
think
you run around and they're
that actually probably takes like a whole lot of a strategy. The same goes for being able to be a singer and a dancer at the same time, because you also need to manage your breathing. And you also need to manage how you pace yourself, because remember, you dance and then you also sing, and there's some dance styles where they need you to have like full blown energy. Now you need to be throwing your hair, that kind of stuff. By the time you come back, you're breathing like a wet dog now. And so you need to be able to control that.
Yeah.
So for me, I take it as a skill.
Yo, bruh.
For me, I
It
take
was
it as a
insane.
skill, because even for me as a performer, I still struggle with the whole breathing part of it, because I also infuse a bit of dancing when I do sing. So for me, I take it as a skill. Hey,
Oh, it was insane.
Look, it's actually, I don't want to say fascinating, because I feel like fascinating is too big of a word to describe this. Look, I'm sorry. Disclosure. This is my own bias coming into play.
Yeah.
Right, because I'm not really a hip hop fan.
Okay.
At all. I don't listen. I don't follow. I don't have anything against.
He's not like
Right.
us.
Clearly, I'm not. I have nothing against the genre, but I'm just not a fan in jail,
Okay.
But I do appreciate. I can appreciate
Yeah.
a well composed song and stuff like that. But anyway, with regards to the breath control one, it's, I guess, for lack of a better word, for my own bias, fascinating to find that out. For the people who are actually raving about his breath control, especially for a hip hop artist, because it's not too often that you find hip hop artists
He's a performer like
performing on that scale.
Okay.
Firstly, right?
yes,
And
TC.
then, of course, as a headliner and stuff like that, but also now having to make use of the stage in its entirety.
you. Okay.
Now this is putting on a full-on blown performance, and as opposed to just
Standing in one
Yeah,
place.
yo, what's up? Hey, you know what it is? Hey,
True,
do you get what I'm
true,
trying to say?
yeah.
So that on its own is a different thing, or different game to tackle, right?
Yeah.
So it speaks to performance, like TC just mentioned, and some of the things that we are trained or we are equipped with as performing artists, like Afriberry just mentioned, breath control is a major one, especially for a singer. Singing, like how opera, it's essentially you are taking in the breath, right? So depending on the scale of the performance, so maybe there's a conductor or there's a director or there's in-ears that you have, right? So the countdown will go 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So usually we advise you on the 1 or on the 2 you start taking in breath. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe 2, 3, 4, and so
Yeah.
outside to opera, whatever. That's a process of releasing the breath that you took in, right? So it's a very, very, very challenging task to control the way untang moya o
Yeah.
kateng. One understand? And now to bring in, like Afriberry mentioned, bringing in movement. That's exertion on its own of energy, right?
Yeah.
You're exerting yourself. So it requires you to go, one understand, and running back there and
Fitness.
coming. That's another one. I was
Fitness.
about to mention that. So
Yeah.
training comes into play. Physical training. Are you fit enough to handle that scale of a performance? Right. So that's why we have multiple rehearsals as performing artists. One understand. So but to buy it light this thing, being a performing artist is a 9 to 5 full-on job, guys. I say, you just rock up on a stage and they're not like, say, what's up, guys? This is Kendrick Lamar, you know? Hey, no, guys.
Because
this is work.
even with me just literally just rocking up on stage and not doing anything, you already get bored as my fan.
Exactly.
But you like,
It's
at least do
it's
a
not
jiggy.
yes, do something, you know.
Yeah.
So like big ups to him, man. But to Bareva about his breath control. Clearly it speaks to the capacity of the caliber rather of the artist that he is, man. And props to him. Props to him.
Definitely, man. Before we wrap it up, so I have some few comments here from Adam Patlele. He's asking if you guys are saying birth control or breath
Oh
control.
yes,
Breath
I know. I
control.
also wanted to ask Musi because it sounded like he said birth control.
I said breath.
Breath.
Or
Yeah.
breath.
It's
Sorry.
breath control.
Breath control. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Apparently they say Barora Kendrick is on birth control.
I don't want the Kendrick
Tlogela
nation to come for me.
Ndilo,
I don't want the
stop
Kendrick
it.
nation to come for me. So
Hey,
guys,
Kendrick fans are coming.
correction, breath control, guys.
When they
Breath
come
control.
for you,
Yeah.
collect that fame. Make you shine.
Like I said,
Najo.
I'm not one with controversy, so I don't like my brand being associated with controversy. Like I'm an international musician, so yeah.
Hey, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go, guys.
Wow.
That was our top trending social media topic that
Wait,
we're having
wait.
right here.
Before we move on, I just
Yeah.
want to quickly ask, how does everybody feel about Beyonce winning the best country song? You know, in a way, it's a bit. That one is like a bit. Because when you look
heist, man.
yeah, I mean, I don't want to lie. It felt like a heist. And then did you see her expression? That was a meme expression. I don't want to lie. And it shows, bro, Beyonce's getting old. The wrinkles around the door. Because in all honesty, when you take a look at country music, a whole lot of people, when Beyonce released that song, is it Cowgirl Carter or something like that?
Yes.
That one.
Yeah, that's all.
There's also another African American country musician who's been doing country way more before Beyonce. So some people feel like just because it's Beyonce, hence she got the hype up,
Billie Eilish.
the hype before for singing country. And yet there's much more better African American country artists who have been there and doing it way longer than she was. And then right now she won a Grammy on top of the other African American country artists that are there and have been doing it for a long time. So for me, I feel like it's like daylight robbery. Yeah, she won. Plus,
Let me-
vele kudala ngai wini cream.
No, let me cook for a second, right?
Ungashizi.
Yeah, nah, baker nice. Young baker nice, and she's my cake. Let me come with you for a second. So here's the thing, guys. The industry is
Fixed.
I mean, that's subjective. If each to their own. If that's how you feel, cool. Here's the thing: industry is vast and is not black and white. There's always a gray area, right? Firstly, we cannot deny the caliber of artistry that Beyonce is. We can't, guys. That lady is a beast vocally. She's not the best, but she's a beast performance-wise.
People have said that.
That lady can sing.
Beyonce fans have said that.
I'm not a Beyonce fan, guys. Mara, when you know the voice, the consistency behind that lady's voice, one understand.
And performance-wise, she
That's
is
why
good.
she's an all-round performer. That lady, you can't deny that. That's ignorant.
When
of
you
me.
watch
But is she a great enough performer in the country
I'm coming to that.
category?
I'm coming to that.
No.
Some people might say yes, some people might say no, right? Here's the thing. How many great on another platform that we all are very familiar with, great local amapiano artists on the ground now are doing amazing stuff, musically wise, but are not on that level. But you find whoever in the industry does a mediocre song and gets hyped.
Hey, we are living in an
Do you get what I'm
influencer
trying to say?
society right
Do you get what I'm
now.
trying to say? So, guys, yes, it's unfair. It is
Very.
unfair, unfortunately. But it goes back to how the industry is shaped and is run and is placed to function in it, essentially. You understand that? Like, there's so much that we don't have power over in terms of the influence that we'd like to see happening in the space of the space of entertainment and musicianship and all of those things. So is she the greatest
No.
country musician? She's not. Maybe she's not. She's not. But the song is catchy. It was hyped, and
marketed
That's what it is.
properly.
You know what's
Marketed
painful?
very well.
The
as
team,
But guys, you know what's
like,
painful? You know what's painful? Ne? Birds of a Feather song. Yeah, Birds of a Feather. Birds of a Feather, Billie Eilish song. It actually got more streams than Beyonce's whole album.
Thank you very much.
But then it goes back to how these things are structured and who does what are the
thing,
decision making factors
Yes.
to win these kind of awards.
Yeah,
Do you
but
understand? Like
Ramo
that's how
Mame.
like now the integrity of the Grammys are coming into play, where now people are like,
and they've actually been on the
they've-
hot seat for like
yeah,
a very
like,
long
are
time.
Are they still relevant, or has it just become a popularity show? Like, you know, like I'm saying, we're living in an influencer society right now, and it's about, I guess, you know, who's got the most influence. I mean, it's happening everywhere. It's happening in our current affairs. It's happening in our like, it's about influence. Who has influence? I guess money has influence. And that's where, you know what, you and
It's the rule of the game, unfortunately. Look, we retoti industry so guys.
True.
You know,
And-
and it takes the unfortunate thing is there's people like Bo Sarah Vaughan, Bo Ella Fitzgerald, Bo Hugh Masekela. There's artists from in history who've spoken on such issues. Our responsibility as artists in the industry is to reflect the times. And unfortunately, these are the times that we're living in.
Yeah.
You understand? I'll make an example. I'll go back to Amapiano, because Amapiano to the world. Amapiano is doing amazing stuff.
Yeah, that's very
in the
true,
world,
yeah.
right?
True.
But it speaks to the time and the generation we're living in now.
Yeah.
Even some of the things that the Amapiano genre speaks about. Did you look at buang ka tsona mo dipeng? Mphetisa vana nya shaya me, na ngithi hayi we. You understand? Ke life e re phelang gona no. That's what we're living in, and it's a reflection of the times we're living in. So unfortunately, huge institutions like the Grammys are a reflection of what the industry is right now,
Yeah.
where we're finding ourselves getting to a point where it's slowly losing its integrity. Things like the Grammys and the Emmys and all of these big institutions that were supposed to encourage
Uphold,
artists. And do you get what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say? And recognize the artists that are doing amazing stuff in the industry. Look, man, we see what you've done in the past year. You're so influential. You're speaking, like Book Hendrik, you're speaking to socio-economic issues. You're speaking to black issues. You're speaking to all of these things. Because get responsibility as artists. But unfortunately, that's not where we are, you know?
Speaking of like major just American stars popping up where nobody expects them to, Rick Ross shopping and swiping his smart shopper card at Pick and Pay, guys. Did you all see that he's breaking the internet?
No.
There's an advert. Yes, there's an advert. Rick, how guys? Yo.
Emaganyana,
Rick Ross is an ambassador of
Rick
Pick and Pay now.
Ross, I'm being serious.
Yes,
Ambassador Pick and Pay.
Not that he's an ambassador. He's done an advert.
But it's
That's
an
how
advert.
Yeah, he's breaking the internet because he just popped up out of nowhere. Nobody was expecting to see that in a Pick and Pay advert.
Rick Ross,
So how? What actually? I want to ask him. What do you guys think about that? Like, is that even like? Was that for you a pleasant thing? Like, wow, okay, you like, okay, this is, or just
haven't
like,
seen it, so I
who you
haven't
want to
seen
know
it.
who authorized this? You want to know
Okay, first of
who
all,
authorized this one? I want to see who approved this thing.
okay, you know what? First of all, I haven't seen the advert,
Same, same.
And to the same person that authorized you, authorized this ad, thunder
It's
fire you.
shocking.
I don't, and because for example, I definitely sure they even paid that person millions just to do a 2-second appearance.
Yes.
Why can't we shine our African stars that we have?
Okay, now
Pick and
it
Pay is
speaks-
already a booming
It
store
doesn't
in South
speak-
Africa
It
and
doesn't
different.
speak to Pick and Pay.
But
Rick Ross doesn't
but-
speak like
No.
It speaks to the marketing team of Pick and Pay.
pay.
It
There's
does.
like
It's a
what-
reflection
are they-
of-
are they
it's a
rebrand-
reflection of what Pick and Pay stands for in terms of how it brands itself and how it puts itself out into society and into to the world essentially.
They don't
You
discriminate.
understand? I mean, if
It's
that's
like-
how you feel,
yeah,
cool.
sharp.
But
Nako
here's
ba
the
bona
thing.
Pick and Pay go US gapele before ra kgakala.
No, but no, man, it's not.
Oh,
it's
wow.
not about that. Blackberry, Afriberry.
Yo! Black Card Berry.
Don't worry, you can text me on BBM.
Okay, take BBM and you will see. Look, man, it speaks to training. So, I'll make an example. Adverts that I've noticed pique our interest a whole lot of times and have a subtle controversial thing happening. Nando's and Chicken Licken. We always remember those adverts like no one's business. So if you're bringing in someone like Rick Ross, for one, let's go back to why is Rick Ross still in South Africa? Why is he still here?
It's fun here.
No, I mean, that's one thing.
Well, it's better than
I mean, you also saw what Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes was in SA for like almost 3 months.
Yes.
Even got dropped, but still stayed.
I'm not speaking for the Twantere Mokobo or anything, but I mean, is it a thing of trying? Was it his team that approached Pick and Pay? Let's bring Rick Ross on. We don't know that. Was it Pick and Pay that approached him? We're trying to be relevant and play into the marketing strategy of this, that, and the other. There's a whole lot of variables and factors that come into play or that contribute to the thing. So, does it work? I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Strategically wise would be nice because a lot of people say like, okay, so I can actually go shop at Pick and Pay because
Rick Ross,
Rick Ross.
does
But
shop
then
at
when
Pick
you
and
also
Pay,
look at it like an economically state-wise, that means how my prices are Pick and Pay also kopo. Who's Rick Ross? Money in shop right
Yes.
Oh, who's a dollar money here?
Are they doing like a rebrand to be like
Using the dollars.
Man is gazette song is community sivuli Cambridge food. Who's Rick Ross?
Yeah, man, definitely. But yeah, in wrapping up everything, please, guys, leave down your comments and tell us what you think. By the way, shout out to Beyonce, with the Carter album. And yeah, 2 more Grammys, 2 more
And Chris
Grammys.
Brown too.
Exactly, to everyone who won the Grammys, a big shout out to you guys. I know that you can see me and hear me wherever that you are. But yeah, do please comment down below and tell us what you think, about, everything that was happening in the Grammys, everything that was happening in the Super Bowl. How did you feel about that? So
yeah, how do you feel about that Rick Ross advert? Please, I would love to hear your thoughts on that one specifically. Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So now we are heading to, concluding our show today. But before we conclude, we know that February is the month of love. So right now we have reached, what we call love block. Right?
These are my confessions. Just when I thought I said all I can say, my chick on the side.
Yeah, so love us there on the Vooka Breakfast Show. Please do stand up. Please do
Where's
talk with
your
us. in the comment sections.
Exactly.
So I have a scenario right here that I want us, to
unpack.
Wabo. So I came across this on the internet, because we know that love has become, the dynamics of love are changing in nowadays. They're changing very, 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 very drastically. So, okay, let me get into it. So this guy, Are, my wife and I have 3 kids. The 3rd was born last year in November. A few weeks after giving birth, my wife told me that I should get a vasectomy. She said she did not want more kids. I did not say anything to her when she said this, but ever since the year started, she has been on my case. I feel this is unfair. First, we never discussed this before, that this birth would be the last. She knows that I want a big family. Why is she pushing this on me? Wouldn't it be best if she tied her tubes to make sure that this doesn't happen? Should I tell her this? I'm afraid it might not land well on her. The question will be, where will the other kids come from? Am I being unfair towards my wife?
Shatis Tembo.
Your wife tells you you're unfair too?
Okay.
Yeah, so please get a vasectomy, my brother. We don't want kids anymore.
So what is this guy saying? He says he wants more kids.
Yeah, he wants a big family.
But the wife is tired of giving birth.
The wife is
wife is satisfied with
we
4
have
kids
more
now.
kids in future.
Can he afford more kids?
I mean, that's one question.
You can't have, you can't want a big family then.
And then you can't afford
no,
the
you
kids.
can.
You can.
Hey,
You can.
people-
Where do you live?
There's people who are very ambitious out there,
Where
guys.
do you
There's
live?
people who are completely ambitious. Khona le motho o batlang bolo. Yo to club 11 kids.
Yeah.
Mara 8 kids. Like it speaks like it. What sparks my mind is bale isithembu umshado nani
Uthando nesithembu.
Uthando nesithembu kwaMselegu.
where Mselegu goes
Everybody
to these
makes
guys,
like when it comes to polygamy, we all Mselegu is like
I mean, I
the
think
poster
he's-
child
yes,
for.
he is. He popularized that thing so much. So like that show that he does where he goes around I know interview these
Nagwethu,
guys.
oh.
Those guys ba reng ba
The
batla
guys that are looking for
Yes.
polygamy.
Yes.
Ah.
There's a
O dula
show.
ko re- o rentile a re simololle phone rent ya gagwe ke bo ma 1.5 to 2,000 o nna ko room ya teng e na le sofa e kgatetseng hana tafole
mara
ha
ba
bana di
batla
sofa
sethembu.
ba dula mo di camp chair mara ba batla sethembu. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So there's a lot of people who are ambitious out there,
Yeah.
very very ambitious. So
Yeah.
absolutely, people can want more kids without
And not being able to afford them, guys.
those kids. So I don't know, man. For me, it's it's funny.
But it also comes to the question where when he married the wife, did he also let the wife know that, like, okay, babe, at least let's have like my 5 kids, Nyana, and maybe you can say that's like a big family, yes or no? Because you can't just say,
Yeah,
well,
what's
no, we
big to
want.
you?
It's-
Because
it's
4 kids
exactly-
may
it's
be big
big.
to me.
Okay, it's 3
Yes.
kids. Let me
They have
rephrase.
Okay,
3 kids.
3.
Yeah, the
3
wife
kids.
gave birth
Yeah.
in November
She
to the
just
third
gave
born.
birth.
to the third born,
Yeah.
and he still wants more.
Yeah, one
and
big-
the wife
big
is like,
family.
"Naki sharp, ke feditse."
Yeah, and it's something that they did not discuss. Imagine your wife is like, hey, in fact, you get a vasectomy. My boy, when did we speak about this?
Is
We
he-
complain
It's in
like a
discussion now.
vasectomy.
And what is the thing with the tubes? Tying the
Are-
tubes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I
it's
need to, as
like-
as a woman, if you don't want to give birth anymore,
You tie your tubes.
You
I
tie
get
your
that.
tubes.
Yeah.
So is he also saying that his wife should do that?
Yeah, because the wife doesn't
he's
want
saying,
to.
Suggesting
he's
it.
asking Uguti, I mean, why doesn't she, because she's the one that no longer wants to give birth, why doesn't she then take the decision to, tie her tubes instead of making me
Get a vasectomy.
a vasectomy? Because, I mean,
But the
The
guy,
choice is
Lena,
less.
he sounds, unsure because you can't mention the tubes, Mara, when now you want a big family. It doesn't make sense.
I mean,
But
yes,
in
it's
a way-
contradictory.
Wouldn't it be fair, that
where
I
will,
can have
yeah,
the
where are you going to plant that seed if you are saying she
Yes.
must get,
That
if
means
she must
he's
tie her
going
tubes?
outside, my
Hence, I
brother.
said it's tame because clearly, obviously, stating that your wife should tie your tubes. That means when already sekunomuntu omesayidini ukuthi umfazi makabopha lapha wena so yabo so uyotshala next door. Because already you can't be suggesting that your wife should tie her tubes if you don't have a person
An
or an alternative route.
Yeah.
You already do have one. So if you already do have one, before you even go and plan somewhere, it's better for you to just take your wife, sit down, it's okay, baby, mamela again. Because you said you don't want us to have any more kids, you can tie your tubes because I still want to have more kids. And is it okay or fine by you if ngikhetha isithembu sibe nomamncane? Unlike uzongenisa umntana abantu
I mean, it's
ngenkani.
not only Tembu. What about surrogacy?
Yeah, there's other viable
Surrogacy iyadura, yazi ukuthi
Yeah.
malini
Yeah, I
surrogacy.
mean, yes, but there's other options that
Yes,
you can
there are
consider.
other
So
options
for
out
me,
there.
it's all about communication and just having a conversation, an honest conversation when it comes to, because this is a very sensitive issue, man. Uthola gore ngwana batho truly o kgatetse, o sharp, or it's a medical issue where her body can't take more of giving
Yo,
birth.
guys, I
You
wish
understand- you
men
understand?
knew what a
The strain
woman,
that
what
you
was
guys
the
go through when
strain
you
that
when you give
childbirth has
birth.
on a woman's
Yeah.
body, because you can get ill, get an illness you didn't have
Mfethu,
before.
I paid lobola
Do-
for you.
Uh-uh.
Some posa got straight.
Mo, wait.
I want the family.
So now I don't have.
I want to
I
grow
don't have
my
a right
family
to
surname.
live because you paid lobola for me.
It's not about the right. I get you knew what marriage is for. Because
no, marriage is not for that. Mo, what are you saying?
Yeah, like,
But
please.
guys,
what are you
a lot
saying?
of people want marriage so that they can have children.
I mean,
who are born in
that's one
wedlock.
part of it.
Yeah.
One part, like
No,
you're
you
talking
tell
about
me-
one part of a
Yeah,
marriage.
it's not
Okay,
a
let's
major.
take out the children.
There's people
Give me
who get-
one reason that
there's-
one people
no,
get
but there's
married
people
for.
who get married and tell you, "Ke batle bana, ke batla go go nyala, but ke batle bana."
Yo.
What do we say about those people?
Yeah,
What do we say
don't
about
generalize.
Yeah,
You're
it's
wasting,
such
you're
an-
wasting your time.
No.
Why are you saying they're wasting their
institution-
time?
The institution of marriage is not only based on having kids, guys.
But we
You
get that.
understand?
Got
But-
to
but
kusala
it-
indlela
it's- it's-
efeyadingakala.
Marriage itself
It's
it
not
speaks
based-
to the
the institution,
union
yes,
of
of two
growing
people.
family.
That's part of it.
Yeah,
That's part of
that's
it.
most
Then
part of
it's
it.
actually the same as
Most
us
part of it.
taking Oprah's perspective when it comes to dating. Because look at Oprah. Oprah doesn't want kids. That's why her and her partner have been dating for so long.
And abanyala.
Eh, abanyala because ba itse go lenyala lo tlo batla bana ke.
No,
Le so ba sa
Alabama,
nyala.
no. The perception that we have as a society is that marriage should come with kids. That's not what it means, guys. It's subjective. It's different from couple to couple.
Yeah, true.
It's different. What is
like,
Maybe the
I get-
couple just
get
wants
it
to
on.
spend time together,
and
travel the
official.
world
Get it on.
together,
Yes.
like
we
achieve
can
goals
do
together,
that
power
unofficially.
couple goals.
Yeah, no, mara re batla go etsa officially. Re kopantse o tse
So that there's a
sefane sa-
contract in place or some sort of
Yes,
agreement in
yes,
place that
yes.
safeguards us with
Yes.
these achievements and
Absolutely.
aspirations that we have
Absolutely.
as a unit,
Absolutely.
because we are two people who share the same vision, share the
Absolutely,
same
TC.
goals and aspirations in life.
I do
and
understand
we just
that.
my
want to-
husband
Because when
wouldn't
you know you can't
survive.
tell your mom that the aspirations. Okoreng,
No, you
what-
can.
what is
You
the first
can. Says
question?
who?
What is the
Says
question?
who? I can
Sheba,
tell
Sheba.
her.
Says
What is
who?
what's the first question that your mom will ask you when you are married without kids? What's the first
I
question?
don't know. What's the first question?
Ba phapa zukulu. Unginika nini
And
abazukulu?
this is a broad perspective
I give a
throughout the
damn.
entire world. It's not even
me
based
with
on
my
Africa.
mom that
No, but-
literally
Look, guys, look. William Aban when we're in studio
Yeah.
hanging out.
Yeah.
The game of generalizing is a very dangerous one.
Yeah.
We take these stereotypes and these perceptions that have been socially constructed and imposed on us as individuals in the society,
Yeah.
and we tend to make them truth and factual, which they aren't.
Yeah.
They are very subjective. It's not black and white. There's always a gray area, guys.
Yeah.
There's always a gray area. So the institution of marriage is not only based on having kids.
kids.
Yeah.
It's not. There's
Yeah.
a whole lot of factors and variables that contribute to two people coming. Okay, let's.
Musi, you don't have kids,
Here's
ne?
the- I don't.
Yeah,
But
it's
here's
one
the-
island
no,
you'll
no, no,
depend
no,
on
no,
our
I want
corn.
kids. I want
No,
kids.
let him speak.
No, I want
let him
kids.
speak.
Let him
let
cook.
speak,
I want
let him
kids.
cook.
Look, I want
Ungashi
kids,
support.
and I see myself. Bacon, nice. Wa understand? Ke batla bana le nna someday.
Yeah,
Wa understand? And
yeah.
for me, ke gotse in a household where there was only myself and my brother. My mother only had 2 kids.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up in a household that had many kids, so it impacted on my aspirations of having a family. Now someday, bana ba itireke ke bana ba bangata. Nna for nna. Cause I got gola yalo and I don't see myself having
Yeah.
a big family. Wang understand? So, but that's a conversation I would have. Something. Baby, here's my take on it. Here's how I feel. So that's why my first point was sit down, have an honest, open and honest, healthy conversation about
yeah.
it. Look, this is where we're finding ourselves.
Yeah.
We just gave birth to 3 kids now, or to our 3rd child.
Yeah.
How do you feel about expanding and growing our family even further? Now we start talking about finances. We start
personal finance.
Personal finance. We start talking, can our household handle so many people in it? Where are we living? Are we living in some 4 rooms somewhere? Are we living in a 6 room where we have 3 bedrooms and can accommodate a bigger family? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Are all these children going to be raised well? Are they going to all have enough time from us?
I
Are they
hear
going to
you.
all be
Medical
catered
issues
for?
come into play.
I mean, a
can
lot
my
of
body
things.
as a female handle 3 more births, natural births?
Oh, no, I
Wang
can't.
understand. So the institution of marriage is a broad one and has so many contributing factors and variables to it. So it's not objective saying iso. The point that I was trying to make, Khonano, was let's now tackle the issue of the community,
Yeah.
same-sex marriages.
Yeah.
What do we say about a male and a male getting married? Does it also mean that the institution of same-sex marriages, the institution of marriage, based on what you said, it applies?
Yeah.
Does it apply in same-sex marriages?
Yeah,
Mama
for
gago
me,
ba
it
go
still
botsa as a-
does.
do you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I mean? Mama gago ba go botsa as a gay guy gore o ngipha nina bo mosokolo.
Anyway, it
And your
depends.
mother
I
knows
think,
that I'm
for
a gay guy,
example,
and
ne,
your mother is non-liberal like that, and still has this thing, I don't believe in gay or the community and stuff like that. What do you do as a gay guy?
I think it also depends on the
But you
on the
get what
couple-
I'm trying to say.
the type of parent you have, right? Take Umushe, for example.
Moshendiki.
Diki?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like the poster child of same-sex couples actually being able to have kids.
Okay.
It's not a fact that it's not a thing that you can't have kids, but when it comes to being in a same-sex marriage, it also comes with affordability, because remember, because you guys cannot get the other one pregnant, you need to consider what IVF. surrogacy.
That's one. There's adoption,
That also
there's-
lives the
yeah, there's
possibility
so
of
many,
having
man.
kids.
There's so many
Guys.
avenues you can consider.
There's
to
so
have
many
kids.
children that need families, and I mean, I remember at some point there was an acquaintance of mine where the conversation came up where their wife, is faced with an issue like that.
Medical issues.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it came about Uguti, how do we then start a family, because nami ngifuna ifamily, what can we do? And then I know with African families or African cultures,
Customary laws. That's what I want
African
to get
cultures
into.
where now umntwana indlalifa igazi, the issue of blood, that the child needs to be of your lineage, needs to be has to be of direct descent, like needs to have my blood, and ntontoni, like. But I mean, guys, there's so many ways to tackle this, even in African cultures and customs, where, like, let's say me in a blended family, where you can lobola my child. Like, if you met me with a child, and and you wanna marry me, and then you have the option to take on my child and make and initiate them or introduce them into your kraal, into your surname. So manje,
And yes,
what's the issue?
People
with
tend
that-
to forget that even with customary law, you can actually just ukulobola umntwana wemuntu akangithi, because remember that you also introduce umntwana emadlozini or abaphansini njengemntwana akho, uyabachazela kahle kahle inhloso yakho yokumletha endlini, nokuthi vele igazi alihambelani biologically, so to speak, kodwa umuntu omthatha njengemntwana akho. It's not like it's something that's like impossible. And then uzothola the old typical traditional Zulu custom bathi bayangena angithi
Yeah,
wena
mina,
like indoda yami yahlulwe kungumethisi bazave baletha umfowenu ukuthi avele angene
Babakho.
ukuthi
we had that conversation. That was weird.
But guys, I do
would
hear
be-
you, I do hear you, and I don't dispute that, because one thing about me is I have grown into this society, and we have seen it. It's happening. We can't deny it. We can't deny it for the fact that when people they get married, abazukulu, they have to be there, because if right now I can say Mplele one, a couple that has married more than 10 years who doesn't have children.
Just because we don't know them doesn't mean they don't exist.
There's a lot of that.
Happy. Let me quickly respond to what you just said.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
just because something has been happening for a long time doesn't make it right and doesn't make it factual.
Tenacity.
One understand? We are living in a society where when 16 years, I'm pregnant, I go clinicking. It's normalized.
It's
We're
bad.
so desensitized as a
that's-
society, right? Who normal? Mara, when a 43-year-old OC in her right, in her prime, or affordang khona le bana ba i2, ale pregnant to go clinicing, it's like lo mama ufunani. Do you get what I'm trying to say? O mo di jareng tsa gagwe tse di right gore a ka nna le ngwana o motona motho ka dilo tse di by emotionally speaking, physically, socially. So do you get what I'm trying to say? There's a whole lot of contributing factors and variables that apply to her to having one ka dijara tseo ka nako eo. Mara gona no ngwana o na le 16, it's like ale pregnant ya go sekolong go sengwe ya go merekong. It's normal. You understand? So just because something has been happening for the longest of times doesn't make it right when not more.
In
Yeah,
a
so
way-
Musi, but okay, the question was, how is this person going to now tackle
Yes.
this conversation? How are they going to sit down and now talk to them? Because now, you know what, obviously now, like Mo,
Yes.
there are men who think because I am married to you,
Shut
I mean,
you, keep it
kumanje,
low.
yeah, like on adulting season 3,
Yeah.
Ubonga is married, and now she's a career woman.
Yeah.
She's busy with her career, and he's like nguglobolile ngifuna indlalifa. Guys, like, where does that end?
It's look, each to their
Does
own.
lobola
And-
mean like
Wabana, it speaks to where our dating journey comes from.
Yeah.
You understand? Because what happens when we start dating Nalo and TC, clearly these are some of the things that we didn't discuss, and
Yeah.
and one could argue that we got married prematurely without tackling all of these issues that come into play when now we are officially married.
But Vele, life happens, guys.
We
You
don't
can't
talk about such things.
Yeah, you can't
now-
always talk
yeah,
about
Mara, we're
everything in
making
the beginning.
excuses. Yes, we should though. We're making excuses for it. Yeah, Zangit, it happens.
Hey.
We subscribe to these laws in society that now work against us and backfire on us later in life. You know, it's 10 years down the line. This man is telling you, keep a little bola. And when I know about it, yeah, Mara, life happened. We didn't talk about these things. We don't. Why didn't
Guys,
you?
can I tell you something?
Yes, so how would you
Can I-
tackle
Can
it?
I tell you something? Because a lot of time now, when a woman gets married, she would have this conversation with the elders. Do you
With
know?
Abo Mama there, when they separated before she gets
now,
taken. And
this is where the ideas are being
Instilled.
instilled
Or
inside of
imposed,
her.
even not even
Ukuthi,
instilled, but imposed on you.
Iwabo, so how are you going to present that to Abu Mama who have been in this, like they have been married for like 60 years?
You are a functioning adult in
Free-thinking.
society.
Yeah, but now
She mentioned free
Musi,
thinking.
if we include what we call kana king lenyalo le
Setso.
la badimo. Yeah, when you include that,
Setso.
mind you, already education is not
It's
going
not
to
about
apply.
education.
It's not going to
about
apply.
education. Free thinking is not only based on education. Yes, you are equipped with the necessary information and knowledge, but where
My
are you
autonomy.
as an individual?
'Cause in
my
the end-
autonomy
Exactly.
as a
Because
human
in the
being.
end, more you also need to remember that as much as ba re laela, akere ke go laela.
Eh.
Ba re laela gore bo yaanong ka re ga o sa tlhole le kgarebe
Yeah.
o mosadi
Yes.
aseyintombi manje somfazi ke
You're a woman.
manje bakhiphe ilobolo ukuthi hambe yoshada ngithi
Primogeniture.
njengoba hambe yoshada ungakhohlwa ukuthi in the end umama nabogogo nabo-aunties bahlala endlini zabo kuyohlala mina nendoda yami endlini.
Exactly. My
We also
husband and
need to
I will
sit
be at
down
home.
and discuss about things that affect us. Because remember that we can't start having kids immediately. We now have to start dealing with what the financial setback of ukubhadalile bolo kuba nomshado. We need to now rebuild our
Mara,
finance
setback,
correctly.
kanjani if you
Why
planned
should it be a
it.
setback?
No, what I'm
Why should it
If
be
you
a
do you know
planned
why
it,
I'm
why
saying
is
it's
it
a
a setback?
setback? Do you know why I'm saying that it's a setback? Because remember that after to keep and as a guy, remember that at that moment, headset or my mind space is on A. Fan kokulobola. Fazam fan tangi roko. Imali umshado
But you
nan
planned for that.
Why is it a
izinto
setback? It shouldn't be a setback.
iretsang
Gone are
ha.
those- okay,
La go
sorry.
mpotsa ga le fitse ga le ntlogele ke arabe di witse king. But a ke re setse ke bua yana ka gore motho tsa o bone madi a ba duela dilo tse kaofela o gopele gore ga setse le hedile go duela teng fo ga le itla teng kwa kontlung tshwantse be le gore la gana ka eng le nagana ka eng getting a much more bigger house now because it's an apartment. So now you're going to start thinking about in a family orientated mindset before you guys even start. Let's be honest, the kid is expensive. Before you guys can even start having a kid, you first want to fix a few things endlini. Now we want to buy a bigger house. Oh baby, agana moto. It's supposed to sithenga moto foot. That's why I'm saying it's a financial setback, because right now you're starting to prepare for things that are still yet to come. That also includes a child. And let's also be frank, you can squeeze in pillow talk busy too. Speaking about building a family, it's something that must or needs to necessarily happen way before you guys even start to get
Okay.
married.
I'm gonna come in very quickly. Wabona ya know all of these things you just described. No man, look, guys, the way I'm a very individualistic thinker. I start with the self first. Well, understand that. That's why I get it. The generalizing game for me is a very dangerous one because the line is very thin. So true, lots of are things that have happened, are things that are happening, and things that are going to still continue happening in our society. But that's one aspect of it. That's one look at it. It's not an objective thing. So what if I'm well off, man. I've done well for myself as a young guy in society.
I think it
You
also
understand?
depends on the person you find.
Yes,
actually.
so that's why it shouldn't be a setback. That's not how the institution of getting married should work. Why we should find ourselves on the financial back burner. We
Yo.
understand.
like already putting strain on a new relationship and something we're trying to navigate together.
So that's why I get it. There's a whole lot of contributing factors and variables, guys. Maybe get chola TC as it's alignate ale shapo gape to the thing of holaiwa. Lenyalo la kajeko la 2025 le lenyalo la nkgono wa gago back whenever it's different. It's different. That's why gore be a free thinker. What is marriage? What does marriage look like to you as a woman in the working force or as a young guy coming up? So it's very broad. It's very broad. But obviously, I would love to hear your thoughts and your opinions and everything else in between when it comes to this topic. Should the guy get a vasectomy? Should the lady get her tubes tied? Comment, like, subscribe, and do the things that are necessary to be done so that you and I and the rest of the team can engage, interact, and obviously have an exchange of ideas and opinions. The hashtag is Vooka Breakfast Show. Across all our social media platforms, we go by Vooka Breakfast Show.
True. Yeah. But umlobolile at the end of the day.
I know.
You know what I like what Musi said, because he said he is an individual thinker.
Yes.
I hope you don't get a community thinker, my friend, because I know a lot of
Community thinkers usually think like ngimshadile.
Bonga on adulting is going through the most, like, because he feels like Nkanyezi, this, successful, independent woman, but you met her that way. We are mazumuntu. That's the thing. That's another thing. Like, you meet people. But also we should evolve with each other in relationships. We should constantly be refreshing each other on the dynamics of our relationship.
Yes.
Always tuning in and checking in with each other. Where are we as individuals in our union?
Absolutely.
Because sometimes two people have two different experiences of one thing.
Yes.
Guys,
and stop going to use
truths. What we spoke about when we came to misinformation, truths and perspectives.
They're not the same.
And it's also very important for people to not lose themselves after getting married.
Yes.
That's where you start having people getting married for 1 year, after that it's divorce. It's because they kind of forget how they treated each other before marriage. The only thing that changes with marriage is the titles. Let's be honest. I am still the same Golom Shela Lapai, I am still that same person. The only thing that changes is the title. Let us not forget to stay to that kind of love that we have.
Yeah.
And when you marry somebody, don't forget that you are going to marry an evolving person. So if you're not ready to evolve with that person, and grow with that person, don't get married again.
Yeah, before we become marriage counselors.
Fluidity.
I mean, we do need
we're not marriage counselors.
Well, because,
just giving an opinion.
we're going to get more, information and, get informed about what is happening really in the marriage space, because we know right now a lot of information is shared. Because remember that when people consume a lot of information, they get to a point whereby they experience information fatigue. Then now
true. I think for some years that's been me. I just
definitely, but it's something that we are going to get into, and it's a topic that we need to also discuss, because love blogs is something that we're going to have each and every day right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show, right? So right now, before we conclude everything, I have a very a little surprise for you guys. I just want us to play a quick game.
Bona ngalandlela afihla ngakhona le PC yamuva kancane kancane.
You guys,
it keeps moving.
But this game is called the Spelling Bee. Right? I get it at the perspicacious.
Insightful, basically. Discerning,
Yes.
Right, so I'm gonna have
I don't have my dictionary.
I'm gonna have one word, for all of you. I'm just gonna give you one word. You spell, please. Bona. What are you doing? So Bona, I want you to spelling bee. Your hands must be here. Your hands must be here for spelling bee challenge.
You're gonna do this to me, Mo Vanny.
Your hands must be here. This is not for
everyone.
Yeah, you're gonna get exposed to who you are dating. I mean, I once had this with my partner. I got dumped.
I still
Wang
got what's
Gisela
the silliest
Schooling,
reason you've
wena.
ever been dumped for?
Nyazana,
Mo, losing a
But
spelling
okay,
bee.
let's start right here. Go Afriberry.
Wena.
Afriberry.
No, let's give it to the table in its entirety, and then one of us can volunteer to give the
Ke tseba
spelling.
spelling ka di fortnight. So it's so.
Oh, okay. Let me do this. Ne? I'm gonna name out a word, and then you just raise your hand, or you just say volunteer.
Do we get points? Let's
Points.
do that rather. Like you get a point for every
Yeah.
correct spell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we
Don't
see who
worry,
won.
you'll win
Yeah.
a glass of water.
So the first word is hierarchy. TC.
It's HIERACHY. Wait.
Spell again.
HIERARCHY. Yes.
Correct. That
Nugget of mama
is,
focus simple guys.
hierarchy. And what
Ke
is the meaning of hierarchy? A hierarchy is a system in which members of an organization or society are ranked according to relative status or authority.
The world's hierarchy is what is keeping us like these.
True.
Picture.
The second word is spell illusion.
Illusion.
Barry?
ILLUSION.
Indeed.
Akila and the bee.
The meaning of illusion, a thing that is or likely to be wrongly perceived or interpreted by senses.
Yes, guys, let's not all live in illusion.
Delusional
In
world. In
Delulu is the
delusion.
solution.
There's a lot of people in society who are very delusional.
Let's go to grade 8 now. Spell miscellaneous.
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 It's
M
yo.
I. I'm not sure. MIS C E L L A
Yes.
N.
Yes.
I'm not sure if it's an I or E.
What is it?
E
Yes.
I O U S.
Yay.
Am I correct? I got one.
All right. The last two words. Spell oscillate.
Oscillate. Yo.
O
Yes.
S C I double L
Yes.
A T E.
That's
I've
the
heard the
one.
word. I've actually
That's the
never
one.
used it, so I don't
Oh,
know.
so miscellaneous is consisting of a variety
Variety,
of
yeah.
ingredients or parts.
Miscellaneous.
Oscillate is to move.
Miscellaneous.
Yeah.
Oh.
To move or swing back and forth at a regular speed.
Oh.
Please repeat that.
To move or swing back and forth at a regular speed.
Oscillate. To
I'm
oscillate.
oscillating right
Okay,
now. I'm
okay.
oscillating.
Okay.
Right?
Zwinky zonko.
The last word. This one is easy, guys. This one is easy.
What's the last word?
Spell Zephyr.
What?
Yeah.
Zephyr.
Wait. Are you trying to say sapphire or Zephyr?
Zephyr.
Zephyr King. Make it so Zephyr King, you know.
Spell the way.
Zephyr King.
Zephyr.
Maybe
the
is-
fire, Mara.
Wait, that time, or is it the one of those xylophone? You say Z and then it's an X.
Xylophone. Z-I.
Is it maybe is it ZEFYRE?
Incorrect.
Yeah.
Okay, please, can we have the definition? Maybe we can have like context.
A soft, gentle breeze.
A soft.
This has me stumped. I shame I won't lie.
I've never even heard of the word. Okay, we give up.
We give up. Mo.
Zephyr.
Zephyr.
Z.
Anyone who wants to try?
Okay.
Tula mabo.
I don't like
Time is up. But
Okay.
by the way, you were correct, but you were not supposed to add E.
at the end.
Okay,
Oh.
Spelele yone mo
This-
ke.
the
It's
spelling?
ZEPHYR. Zephyr.
P-H-Y-R.
YR.
Ezinye izinto
So what
like-
does it mean, Mo?
It's a
breeze.
soft, gentle
Oh,
breeze.
soft. Sorry.
Soft,
You see the
gentle
way
breeze.
it's got me stumped. It got me all confused. Dizzy.
Indeed.
Keep on
man.
I'm on my Zephyr moment.
Keep on
Zephyr.
philanthropic. F-I What do you want to spell philanthropic? F-I. Such amazing stuff. Such amazing
Yeah,
stuff.
man. Yeah, man. It was great today to have you guys right here on the Vooka. But before we have comments right there on YouTube.
I hope there is
I have
a fire moment.
I have eargasm experience. Musical Genie Ari. Good morning.
Hello. Wow, how you gonna? Well, I hope you joined us while we were still.
What's the
deep
name
inside
again?
The topics.
Eargasm
Experience.
experience. Yeah,
nice.
like but I don't know.
What are you
Those
saying,
kind of things.
man? When I'm working, I'm gonna fail you.
I mean, it's
like a Friday,
stage name.
you know, on Friday I was defending
And you were
him.
defending
I was
him.
defending him, saying
See
these
what
girls
you
are
were
the ones.
defending. See what you were
So you're
defending.
playing into.
You will learn.
Mara is this
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah,
Kiring
yeah,
na. Eargasm, man. Yeah. But good morning to you, man. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show.
Yeah.
And then I have Razilani Richija, are the sweetheart and Tonto.
Yes, a berry fan.
sweetheart and tonto.
Does it mean that he wants to taste this?
Hey,
I don't know. I'm just asking. Are the sweeter than
Or maybe why it's a.
from experience? I mean,
Yeah,
who knows? Pero bo peri ba ka se bui
Guys,
live.
can I please have a
Little life.
Zephyr? Just please.
Obata nje moyanyana.
I'm gonna throw
A
in that
breeze.
word every once in a while. I need that
Amen.
Zephyr.
Amen. Absolutely, absolutely. To those who are watching and to those who have joined us, thank you so much. This was the Vooka Breakfast Show with me, Mo Ekiti Maimane, alongside with my team.
Yes, this was your girl, Afi Berry, Miss Berry Blaze, but to the darker the berry, the sweeter than Tonton. Imnandi mamyama, mam shopilek tekateken, but marloko famba na maweta koma kahle. Is song wana man.
Shout out, man, to the team. You know, you were hanging out with me, the one and only MOOCEE. Mr. My name is Musi, Mr. And we're going to be doing this every weekday, Monday to Friday, taking care of you between the hours of 7 and 10 a.m. right here on Vooka Breakfast Show with myself and, of course, this lovely lady sitting right next to me.
Yes, UTC Gamazibugo Shabalala, your prime cut creative and your positivity dose of the day. So yeah, we are signing out.
Yeah, so just a short recap of what we were doing on the show. We started with the news headlines with the Ketiwe Mguni and sports headlines that were led by me, and the traffic update by UTC Wagamazibugo. Also with the weather update, and we had a topical discussion on the table discussing the controversies going on around with Trump, Elon Musk, and Cyril Ramaphosa. And we went on and discussed what is personal finance, and we went on to talk about what is today, what is involved in today's history. And we went on and spoke about the word of the day. We also touched on the traffic and weather update, and we spoke about the social media trends.
Yes.
And again, at top of the hour, that is where we went back and we just ended it with a spelling bee game. As Musi said, every weekday 7 a.m. up until 10 a.m. right here on the Vooka Breakfast Show. This is us signing off.
Vugani nati.